everybody, and welcome to the No Gods, No Mayors. Hi.
Hello. Hi. How's it going? We're not going to let Riley begin the episode.
I will never let Riley begin the episode as long as I fucking live.
Because Matty has an energy today.
I've got an energy. Amber is the color of my energy today, is what I'll say.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm going to try anyway to begin the episode of No Gods, No Mayors.
Okay, good luck.
Good luck, asshole.
Hey,
You're never going to begin
idiot.
the podcast.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm allowed to bully Riley more because he took 3 pumps of estrogen and now he's weak to me.
4.
We're back. This is our first episode recording back after the live shows, and I'm feeling insane. Sorry, Riley. Start the show, please. Thank you.
Oh, you want me to start?
Yeah, can you
want me to start?
fucking start the show already? Jesus, what's wrong with you?
Sorry, I'm going to have a sip of my coffee while you start the show, please. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for listening to No Gods, No Mayors. It's been Riley, Nova, and Maddie, and we'll see you. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong one.
That's the outro. That's the outro. We wanted the intro.
These women don't know how to do fucking anything.
I'm taking this out of your hands. Hello and welcome to No Gods, No Mayors, the podcast about municipal excellence. I am the first deputy co-mayor of this episode, November Kelly. I am joined by second deputy co-mayor, Matty Lubchansky.
Ahoy.
And, crucially, mayor of this episode, Riley Quinn.
Okay, actually, it's good to be announced. I like being announced.
Yeah.
This is better than announcing myself.
Do we want to do that? Okay, sure.
Sam, can we get some fanfare?
Yeah.
Please welcome to the stage, mayor of the episode, Riley Quinn.
You know him. You love him. Can we get the Alan Parsons Project, like 1996 Bulls entrance music?
No, I drove myself a little crazy with this one. I went into a municipal trance, and I woke up and I had,
hold on. You can't call us that, right?
Yeah, sure, come on. Fucking
I woke up and I had 10 pages of notes.
Wow.
You entered, the Metaculus took you into a kind of mystic fugue state.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I went into the hyperbaric time chamber and I woke up with 10 pages of notes about the mayor.
Welcome to No Gods, No Pairs, the podcast about how you can't ever pair anything with anything else.
Yeah, it's a podcast about how Bluetooth sucks. No, this is the thing. But first, before we talk about the main mayor today, we have a little segment I like to call Municipal Roundup.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I do my errata first, or do we want to do the roundup first?
Oh, sorry. Can you play the Municipal Roundup music backwards so we get out of it so Maddie can do her errata, please?
Yeah, put that music back in.
Yeah. Okay. So very quickly, I have this came in hot across my desk as we were about to record. But as you know, ladies, we have the indisputable precepts of the show, right? The immortal precepts of the No Gods, No Mayors podcast.
Total respect for the nation of Albania, etc.
Etc. One of them is, of course, shrimps as bugs, popes as mayors. And I have some bad news for everybody. Asher Elbin set this in. I got a Smithsonian Magazine headline here. You might think of shrimps as bugs of the sea, but a remarkable discovery shows the opposite. Bugs are actually shrimp of the land.
What, the sea bugs?
Bugs are the shrimp of the land. Bugs evolved from shrimp. I think I have to make our first ever edit of a precept to change it to...
I'm not going to do that.
Bugs is shrimps.
I'm not. Okay, so...
Shrimps are not bugs. Bugs is shrimps. Bugs is shrimps.
No, that's not true.
It's a remarkable new study, November. You gotta fold this in your worldview right now.
I will not adjust my precept. I am Pope Urban VIII here, right? I insist, that because we said it first, because it's preceptual, shrimps is bugs and not the other way around.
Yeah. Bugs is shrimps. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to inform this.
Are we going to have the first schism?
We're going to have our first schism. I'm starting my own podcast.
You would discard our sacred precept so easily merely because of evidence?
I'm simply saying we should maybe do Vatican II, where we change one precept.
And then the thin end of the wedge. After that, we're going to start not respecting the nation of Albania.
And after that, we're going to stop doing municipal roundup in Latin. I understand. This is a real problem.
We're gonna let anybody be mayor.
Yeah, we're gonna let women be mayor.
This
gonna let men
is
be
a
mayor.
disputed erratum. And first of all, and in fact, I don't even think we're quorate for an erratum because you said errata and there's only been one of them.
Instead of saying erratas, I don't understand.
Erratum.
Are these they? Anyways, that's my errata, which is apparently disputed. Jesus, we'll talk about this later.
We're gonna have to. Can we put this erratum back through the process? We're gonna have to put it through dispute resolution.
Can we get some schism music? Can we get some Discord music?
Okay, well,
you notice I put the emphasis on the second syllable there because if I'd said some Discord music, then it would have been the worst shit you'd ever heard in your life.
Whoa,
Oh, yeah.
whoa. Are you talking about Discord records?
No, I'm talking about the app.
Oh, some Discord music. Okay,
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say, let's get some Discord music and we play some Fugazi, perhaps.
I mean, yeah, we can play some Fugazi if we want to
or
get copyright
Fugazi,
struck.
whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I think the
it's
copyright
Fugazi.
exists.
I think it's Fugazi. I think
It is Fugazi. I said Fugazi because that's what Italians say.
There's like male gazy, female
Male gazy.
gazy, Fugazi. Yeah.
Yeah, you know the joke about my band that I always make is that we're shoegazy is our genre.
oh, that's fun.
Mhm.
Now
Yes.
that we have this, I would say disputed addendum.
Now that we've all yelled at each other.
Mhm.
I need to now take us back into a little segment I call Municipal Roundup. I've just invented the name now.
Yeah.
This was sent in via, I believe, the Discord. And
Well,
it's
so was
from
the last one.
Can we get some Discord music?
It's from Paul. Yeah, this is for the social platform, not for the concept of disharmony. Okay, thank
Can you
you.
remix the Discord voice call ringing sound, please, Sam? Thank you.
I really hope Sam does no music on this one and we just get 20 minutes of us asking for music.
So-
we were really spoiled at the live shows, I think is what happened. And now, yeah.
This is from Pulse, Tasmania.
Mhm.
So this is from the Derwent Valley in Tasmania. Weak as piss message painted on road after Bushy Park pool closure confirmed. And the message is, the mayor is weak as piss.
Australia
support.
continues to lead the world in civic engagement, I think.
Yeah.
First, mandatory voting. Second, chalking your opinions about the mayor onto the mayor's streets. Very good.
I think this is I think critical support from us for this one. I think the official stance of the No Gods No Mayors podcast is all mayors are piss.
Mayor Michelle Draculius, weak as piss.
sorry. A mayor with the surname of a Lithuanian vampire.
this is a Greek Dracula.
Michelle Dracula is weak as piss because she's drinking blood. Come on.
She hasn't had blood in a long time.
I wouldn't chalk shit about my city's vampire mayor on the
Why are there so many vampire mayors?
I mean,
First of all,
two is weird. Two is weird.
The finest Transylvanian podcast of the 1890s being like, I just think it's weird there's this many Draculas.
Wait a minute. Okay, wait. Is Dracula the mayor of the town where Dracula's castle is?
He's the baron of it because he's the count of it. That's why he lives in a castle.
Yeah, is he in charge? Is he in charge of the trash in the town?
Well, then we get into is a count a mayor? And then that opens us up to a sort of Sesame Street episode.
Yeah.
So
do mayors count? No. Do counts mayor? Question mark.
Mayor of Sesame Street.
The mayor of Sesame Street is Big Bird?
Big Bird's, you couldn't elect Big Bird.
No, Big Bird's technically a child, I think.
So this is female Dracula saying,
Sorry.
I don't drink shots.
Good. Thank you.
So
Very
the decision posted to the council's Facebook page Monday said there was no way forward for the local pool to operate lawfully, citing 7 compliance issues, including lost parking, non-compliant wastewater infrastructure, and an inability to secure an EPA permit for discharge into the adjacent river. The reversal comes after councilors voted unanimously to save the pool. Draculis responded to the backlash on Tuesday morning with a lengthy statement. There's a lot been said over the last... Councilors don't certify facilities ourselves. We rely on professional advice, regulatory requirements in the law. There's no alternative decision available to us.
Draculis issued a lengthy statement saying, "Listen to the children of the night."
She issued a lengthy statement inviting the townspeople to come and have dinner with her at her castle on the hill. And then she said, Finally, defacing public roads, particularly on a school route, on the second day back at school is not the answer.
People, need to disavow this kind of terrorism, and I think we have to be willing to call it what it is. Also, people don't remember that in the novel Dracula, Jonathan Harker is sent to Transylvania to help Dracula with the sale of a pool.
A lot of people don't realize that the novel Dracula is epistolary, and some of it is just written on a street in chalk.
They were trying to write the mayor as weak as epistolary, but, they ran out of chalk.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's my item. Do you have any other items for the class?
I have no items. I have only the knowledge that in a Sesame Street spin-off film from 1999 called The Adventures of Elmo in Grouchland.
Sure.
There is, in which they go to the Grouch's homeland, Oscar the Grouch's
They go to the
homeland
Grouch universe,
Grouchland.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's through the trash can, if I recall correctly.
There is a Grouch mayor.
See, now that is interesting.
Yeah, he's in scope.
We would never, ever do a fictional mayor and pretend it's real for the whole episode.
Yeah, that's not something a serious
That's not something a serious podcast like this would do.
This MF head.
You can't break that into the show, Nova.
It's fine. No, what we'll do is we'll bleep that. It's fine.
All right. Are you ready to talk about the mayor?
Yeah. Is his head
maybe. All right. I invite you now to open up the note that you've no longer seen. That you've not seen.
Oh, this is like doing exams. I can turn over my test paper.
I'm cracking open the notes.
Before we start, I want to do a note on the sourcing. This episode is based on a lot of translated academic journal articles asking, how the hell did this happen from the 2000s? Bemused English language reporting from the 1990s, scathing French language reporting from the 1980s, the experiences of a man asked to translate a cookbook in the late 1970s, and bafflingly, the personal animus of Graham Greene, novelist. This is the story.
What the hell have you done? Where have you been taken on this?
This is the story of Jacques Médecin, or as I call him, Jackie the Doctor, the mayor of Nice for like 35 years.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay.
So, September 1990, Jacques Médecin, Jackie the Doctor, mayor of Nice since 65 and no stranger to controversy, is in Osaka to celebrate 8 years of partnership between the two cities. He's meeting local dignitaries, attending official events, and probably panicking quite a bit, as by this time, he has surpassed mere embattlement and has entered the elevated state of the walls are closing in. And when all the babies have been kissed and all the ribbons been cut.
Yeah, you're not embattled, you're like under siege.
Yeah, you're in your last holdout. You're reaching for your sidearm. When the babies have been kissed and the ribbons have been cut and so on, the mayor of Nice makes a snap decision at the airport, which I'll share a long quote now, assembled from a melange of papers, including the LA Times, NY Times, and London Times, all three times. Yesterday, a suntanned médecin made his first public appearance since his resignation to deny he had been anything other than an exemplary mayor. He described himself as a victim of the socialists who were out to get him. Quote, I have been a very efficient mayor, he said in Uruguay.
Do you know the first stop is always Osaka, and then the second stop is always Uruguay for some reason?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So
I said it.
He was in the Uruguayan resort of Punta del Este, which was a surprise to everyone who expected him to go back to France.
Listen, let the mayor who has never gotten the wrong plane at the airport cast the first stone.
So back in Nice, townspeople were so accustomed to seeing a médecin at City Hall that they didn't quite know how to react. This is back to the quoting. Opposite the City Hall, the staff of Bistrot de la Mairie were glumly contemplating a future without his daily visits, saying, he was a hard worker, an exceptional man. He was kind and did so many good things. He had no need for wealth. He was married to an American heiress. Side note, he wasn't. He was married to a distant cousin of the Max Factor makeup fortune who never saw a penny and was never going to.
I just want to note that the Bistro de la Mairie is the official restaurant of the show. I hope it still exists. We will be dining there constantly.
I mean, if it's in Nice as well, it's like, hey, do you want a green salad? That'll be 40 euros.
I mean, kind of.
I mean, just to see what they put in it. They put 2 20-euro notes in it. It said, Alex Ricci, the owner of a popular Italian restaurant across from the Palais de Justice, said, he is my God. I worship him. We owe him everything. Jean Ultra, a burly political operative, considered the mayor's right-hand man.
This is you don't want to get messed with by Johnny Ultra.
You want to as an ultra
It's an Italian
man.
mobster wearing like an Arsenal jersey. This is Johnny Ultra. Yeah. Thank you.
Johnny Ultra has started wearing 2 wristwatches. One set to Nice time, the other to the local time in Uruguay, where Médecin has set up camp and is governing from abroad.
He was a mayor in exile?
Correct, yes. Briefly.
And this guy, Jonathan Ultra, was doing like Fidel Castro with the wristwatches?
Yep, that's exactly what he was doing.
Propping up the bar at the mayor-themed restaurant across from City Hall?
To Ultra and the others, Nice still operates on 2 times, French time and Médecin time. Ultra said, Jacques Médecin is a fighter, but he was crushed by the harassment he was suffered. Some people kill themselves in similar circumstances, but Jacques Médecin is not one of them. He simply left.
Yeah, some people kill themselves. Some people simply run away forever.
Yeah, only a few have the strength to flee to Uruguay.
The coward's way out is suicide, of course. Would a coward flee?
The coward's way out, suicide. The hero's way out, Uruguayan visa.
The mayor did owe several $1 million in back taxes as a result of investigations tracing his holdings to Beverly Hills, Panama, the Caribbean, and elsewhere. I invite you to scroll down a little further. Among many other ludicrous wheezes, crimes, and bananas associations, we're going to spend the next little while going through piece by piece. It's time to jack your medicine.
Thank you.
Is this another game show segment?
Yeah.
It's time to jack your medicine.
The picture I've included here is him on the beach giving a press conference holding a cigar.
That's
this
really
is him
beautiful.
saying, by the way, I fled to Uruguay.
A guy wearing white linen trousers on the beach. This is very much giving the, like, get that steel drum out of the mayor's office.
Oh, for sure. So he said, one day in 1938, I decided I would be the mayor of Nice, just like my father was. Mr. Médecin once wrote, I was 10 years old.
1938 France being like the political issue of my time is me being mayor of Nice. I'm gonna do it.
The LA Times report notes that the Niçois were so used to seeing a Médecin in City Hall, if you remember, I mentioned that, because by 1990, the family had been notable in the area for about 130 years. Jacques' grandfather, Alexandre Médecin, served as a departmental councillor and deputy mayor of Nice in the 1880s. His father, Jean Médecin, after whom a very famous street in Nice is named, was mayor from 28 to 65. He was on the run from 43 to 45, but don't credit him with too much. He was an enthusiastic Pétainiste and collaborator. He only got on the wrong side of the Italians occupying Nice. Didn't stop him from being popular in Nice anyway.
That in itself is an episode, I feel, is the mayor is like dodging the Italian fascists because he's too much of a French fascist.
There are a lot of other guests raised in this episode, don't worry. So Jean Médecin, who I'm not going to talk too much about because he's worth his own episode as well, was diagnosed with cancer in the late 50s and began systematically transferring...
But, physician, treat thyself.
He began systematically transferring his political positions to Jacques from 61 onward before he died in 65. An illustrative scene of how orchestrated this transfer of power would be this. So Médecin's body was laid in municipality, in sub-state, in City Hall.
Like Lenin?
Yes.
They just see the mayoral mausoleum?
Yeah, like Lenin or Mao, correct.
Cool.
Counselors come in rotation to keep vigil by the corpse. But while they were there, a Médecin ally named Honoré Bayet petitioned the counselors asking him to support Jacques, whose only experience was running unopposed in seats vacated by his father in previous years.
I see you like this dead guy. Would you like his alive son as well?
Yes. That's what would happen.
He's like him, but he can move his arms because he's alive.
Yeah, you gotta check him out. You got. Hey, Jack, do like we practiced. Move your arms for the guy.
I can't believe they were doing fucking like show me raw to this guy. Like we need to have him be surrounded by other municipal people so his soul doesn't escape.
So carrying the Egyptian book of the mayor in your sort of like entirely dead hands so that you have like a municipality to serve you in the afterlife.
Yeah, he's holding a salad niçoise and a crook in his hands on the dais there.
They've got a little like carved like clay sash for him so that he can pick it up in the spirit world.
Surely instead of the crook, it's a giant pair of scissors for cutting
That's
ribbons.
a really good point. Thank you.
Yeah. So Jacques won a council seat after a runoff and then was appointed mayor shortly thereafter. He is also later elected president of the General Council of Alpes-Maritimes in 1973. So he was simultaneously at different times head of the city, the surrounding region, a representative in the National Assembly, as well as under President D'Estaing, he was the national minister for tourism. He was in all respects the elected king of the south of France.
He's the pharaoh of the South Kingdom.
Yeah.
He's like a pitch shifted Star Wars prequel. He's like Boss Nice.
Exactly, yes.
Imagine if all the Gungans were French. Let's just all just go there for a moment.
Perhaps this Gungan can help us. Wait, no, that makes the non-Gungan French. It would just be like regular, like fucking Alec Guinness, or like, perhaps this Gungan can help us.
Yeah. Instead of saying Misa, he's saying moi every time.
Moissa. So 60s
Weird
Nice
that they
was,
elected a French alien to the Galactic Senate.
so 60s Nice was several things. It was beautiful, it was booming, and it was staggeringly, unbelievably fascist. This was due to the arrival of the former French colonists in 62, the Pieds Noirs, who believed themselves betrayed by de Gaulle's decision to decolonize Algeria.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
and to be clear, they were betrayed by de Gaulle. It was just good of him to do that.
Yeah.
I'm midway through Julian Jackson's autobiography. Julian Jackson's
He entered
biography
de
of de
Gaulle's
Gaulle.
brain and wrote a book.
He kind of did.
Using his
is the
dead
thing.
hand. Yeah, sure.
He basically did, right? And like it's crazy because de Gaulle loved the FLN. It didn't stop him from administering like a brutal sort of counterinsurgency against them, but on a personal basis, he seems to have respected them way more than any of the Pieds Noirs, who the second anyone complained about him betraying them, he was like, well, you know, they fucking get what they deserve. So all of these guys moved to Nice and are just busy like honking the horn like beep, 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 Algérie Française. And de Gaulle is ignoring them at this point.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
It won't surprise you to know the entire Médecin family fucking hates de Gaulle. So, even though they were in
Is this
Gaullist
going to be our
parties,
first mayor to be part of the Organisation Armée Secrète?
I need you to just hold on a second.
Motherfucker.
Genuinely.
I can't do this. You can't tell me not to read ahead in the notes, not to spoil myself when I know too much already.
So, we're going to get there.
I love that I don't know anything about anything. This is actually great for me. I'm a blank slate, baby. Lay it all on me. I'll be so shocked and surprised because I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
The main thing is if you go to France and you get a rental car, don't honk the horn like 3 short honks, 2 long honks, because people will think you're an elderly racist.
Okay.
So basically, his political style, the most important parts, are described in a whole chapter on Médecin in a book called Pour une histoire politique de la France méditerranéenne, published by the University of Rennes. So this is translated. In Nice, he perfected clientelist methods by using the Republican Rally, a local political party, bequeathed by his father. And he founded a close network of associations, clubs, and neighborhood committees, and the powerful Associations of Friends of the Mayor with 5,000 members.
That's how many Patreon members do we have again? Because we should rename the Patreon to that first.
The
of all.
Association of Friends. It is a bit the Mayor Benevolent Fund. This is how he sort of treats it as the Mayor's Benevolent Fund.
Yeah.
And an animating electoral machine of 300 agents. So like everybody is in. This is his patronage network and everyone's in it. These men were trusted, and they were often men, they're not always, were trusted associates of the Médecin family. They were in every profession and trade. They were in charge of every civic group to which public money would flow. They existed throughout the entire government of the entire area. Whichever Médecin was in office was the man who held this extremely profitable relationship together. This, alongside this very, very strong Niçois cultural identity, as distinct from French. Not a lot of people know Niçois do not consider themselves that French.
Yeah, well, I mean, France, like Nice hasn't been French for that long. Historically, it's more of an Italian city.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do they see themselves as more like Monegasque or whatever? Or
They see themselves as Savoyard,
okay.
oddly.
Oh,
Yeah, well, it's one of those things where it's like every time you go to like Martinique or one of the other like overseas departments.
I'm always going to Martinique. That's a really good point.
I mean, like on the TV broadcast where they have voted 1,000,000% for the fascists, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, but wait a second, why has this department, which is like 100% black, voted for fascists? They go, well, of course we're conservative. We've been part of France for longer than Nice has.
Yeah, genuinely.
Yeah.
Like Jacques Médecin, even in an interview with Le Monde in 85, said, we're the youngest French colony. The people of Nice remember that they might have been French for less time than the Canuck.
Were you offended by that when you read those words?
He's not
deploying this is the first time I've seen the slur in the French form as well.
Yeah. Well, this refers to the people from New Caledonia.
Oh, Kanaki.
Oh.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
sure.
Kanaki.
Right.
Sure.
So it actually is a slur.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I don't think that it's not a slur. It's just how you refer to the indigenous inhabitants of New Caledonia. It's actually not. In any case, so that this alongside this core like Niçois cultural identity is distinct from French was the core of Jean and Jacques, their hold on the city. They didn't even speak French with their constituents. They spoke Niçard. Anything national was a socialist plot to undermine Nice or a French plot to undermine Niçois cultural identity. And they governed the city through the official institutions of state and a set of parallel institutions like the Friends of the Mayor Club or numerous arm's-length cultural institutions or whatever. In exchange, the Niçois...
This is like mayoral devolution.
Well, that was a huge issue in France in the latter half of the 20th century as well, which they take full advantage of. I can promise you that. But the Niçois get to feel special and get to see loads of visible concrete, especially prestigious stuff like airports and ports and casinos and hotels. The Friends of the Mayor get rich, and either Médecin gets to be king. So this is from Le Monde in 85. I read a bit from it, but I'll finish now. Master in his city, lord in his county, abrupt. Okay, well, that's the group chat, I suppose. Master in his city, lord in his county, abrupt, brutal, but a charmer also. Don Juan in Ray-Bans, seducer to a possessive Mediterranean city. His recipe? He makes love to Nice, said one of his relatives, and Nice loves it. It's the whole program.
So how dare you claim you're not very French and then say some shit like that?
Well, it's more like
we are not very French. He's making love to the city, however.
I'm a little bit French and a little bit Italian and a little bit neither. So in that sense, I'm kind of having sex with the city.
Look, we're a little bit French, and that's the part we are a little bit French on.
Yeah.
Between Nice and Médecin, it's carnal, adds another. Yes. He says, the people of Nice want to see me. They want to touch me. They want to talk to me. They're sentimental.
What the fuck?
Yeah. This is how he always talks about it.
This guy was giving every citizen like a kiss with tongue. And he was calling it a Niçois kiss.
You were never not getting like a little back massage that lingered too long with this guy. And everybody.
Just like the lawn sign for this one is in Niçard, not French. Do a little hand stuff with the mayor.
I hate it when they come by, like it's election season and everyone's like doing all the door knocking and these guys will not stop fucking massaging my feet. And it's like, I'm trying to get work done.
So this is from his obituary. The people of Nice, or the majority of the people of Nice, forgave Médecin everything. With a series of costly leisure and sporting projects, he made the city feel cosmopolitan, trendy, and expansive again after it slid into torpor under the mayorship of his father. For the many thousands
of
former...
really wide baseball cap. Make Nice cosmopolitan, trendy, and expansive again.
Banish Nice's genteel torpor. It says it on my hat.
Yeah. So for many thousands of former Algerian colonists who moved to Nice, Médecin was the man who would insult de Gaulle publicly and went out of his way to make them feel welcome. And some things he would do to make them feel welcome, for example, is he twinned Nice with Cape Town in 1974 in a move in support of apartheid.
Just like, that's a step above like, fuck yeah, I'd play Sun City. That's wild.
Like, okay. I will not only play Sun City, I am in fact Sun City too.
And like David Bloomberg, the mayor of Cape Town, was invited to Nice.
Mayor to mayor racist communication.
Yeah. And then they're kissing, I think.
They are kissing. They're doing like the version of the like Brezhnev Hanukkah, like fraternal socialist kiss. They're doing like a kind of white supremacist makeout sesh.
So he claims when asked to defend it, he said that South Africa has no segregation, just, quote, the parallel development of two different populations.
Oh, okay.
And when accused of being right-wing, he said, oh, yeah, well, we're also twinned with Yalta. So what about that?
We're not right-wing so much as we're on a wing that's in a parallel development with a different wing that you would consider left. You know?
Also, the funny thing
to be
is,
fair, if there was a country whose post-war politics would allow you to go, I'm not right-wing, I'm just racist, it would be France.
Oh, seriously.
That's a really good point.
They talk about his slide to the extreme right in the 80s and 90s when this shit's going on in the 70s. This also, in 1972, is when he was cultivating his appeal to that local identity by publishing a cookbook based on recipes passed to his grandmother by a Niçois peasant woman named Tante Mietta, whose existence is only attested by a blurry photograph.
Le cookbook raciste.
Well, when the cookbook was published in 72, it was translated into English by a food writer called Peter Graham, who met Médecin at work and had this to say.
Just this English guy looking at a cookbook and it says crepes raciste. Just really kind of frowning over it.
Weirdly, it's considered kind of a decent cookbook in parts. He gave me an appointment in the grandiose municipal chamber of the Niçois City Hall. A tall, imposing, and apparently affable man, Médecin wanted to give his book an air of authenticity by indicating the Niçois name of this or that plant or vegetable. In each case, I needed to know the precise name in French or English to translate, if it existed, or at least something in like the Linnaeus nomenclature. Médecin was unable to supply this information. So he doesn't know the name of broccoli.
It's a doohickey. It's a thingamajig.
I then ventured to ask him why he called for the use of cinnabar to lend a rosy color to his recipe for preserved anchovies, because cinnabar, mercury sulfide, has been certified as a poison in many countries and banned from culinary use for a century. Médecin was so startled, he almost choked to death on the lunch he'd been served on a tray.
Oh, God, I've been eating racist poison this whole time.
One drop, a beautiful color. 2 drops kills a man.
I could sense that Médecin was beginning to bridle up my questions, and after a healthy swig of wine, none of which was offered to me, he brought our interview abruptly to a close.
I know this guy is resisting being identified as French, but I love the French so much.
Yeah.
But not before inquiring how much I was going to be paid for my translation of his book. I told him. He said, "That's peanuts. Why don't you let me take charge of the English version and give you a proper fee?" I said I'd already signed a contract with Penguin. Oh, contracts, they don't matter.
It's like, can I have a glass of wine? No, but I am going to stuff some money into your socks.
Yeah, now that's how I eat poison all the time. I actually very much need to track. Are there copies of this cookbook around, Riley?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
I need to get it. I need to start cooking from it.
What,
I think.
the poisons?
You want to make the poison anchovies?
I want to make the poison anchovies a little bit. I won't poison them, but I want to make the anchovies. I want to make the horrible food.
If you don't poison them, they won't have the right rosy color.
That's a really good point.
So there's a Le Bonne Cuisine de Comte de Nice, was republished in 2003 after Jacques Médecin's death.
Okay.
So, of course, he also lived like a king. His villa, called Le Soubron, was acquired by his grandfather, expanded by his father, and massively expanded by him as he got more and more money. It contained a shooting range in the basement, mini golf, a cinema, a large swimming pool, a gigantic olive grove, and at any time, 20 people lived there, counting the servants.
I'm a little concerned about the basement shooting range. For what? Dissidents?
Niçois dissidents? People who are trying to like French collaborators.
Yeah, or just Gaullists at this point. You're just like, someone who is also racist but thinks that the general was making some points, just getting fucking domed off in the basement of a villa.
He was implicated in at least one murder.
Oh.
But that happened much later.
Yeah, I have a slight concern about a basement shooting range in this context.
Yeah, the thing is, we joke about the municipal roundup mayor being a bit of a Dracula, but he's a bit of a Dracula, but like a sort of louche Southern French Dracula with like a sort of swanky villa as opposed to a dour.
A Draculard. Yeah.
warm climate Dracula.
So on embezzlement, there was never one stable way of doing this. It actually always varied.
Yeah, you got to be changing up on your day ones.
Well, genuinely, what we have is only what was documented. I mean, God knows whatever the friends of the mayor were getting up to. But I'll give you the basic shape of it. And what we have, a lot of what we have, is what was ultimately documented in the 89 charges that led him to flee, 1989 charges that led him to flee to Uruguay. It's worth noting as well, as the accusations around him multiplied throughout the 1980s, it was a magazine called Le Canard Enchaîné that did most of the anti-Médecin reporting, which is basically France's Private Eye, or France's The Onion.
Being brought down by French Ian Hislop, having survived de Gaulle, is a really good bit.
Yeah, so it's the Unchained Duck.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's like the duck. Yeah, okay. That's the change duck.
So Médecin did also the usual mayoral stuff we'd expect, right? He'd get kickbacks from developers funding public infrastructure development, and there was a huge amount of public infrastructure development, and clearing the way by intimidating people or impeding rivals. Like, there's an insane casino story we genuinely don't have time to cover here.
Riley, you can't give me the words insane casino story and tell me nothing.
Okay, I'll give you the bones of it, which is that a friend of his, a guy called Roule, was going to start a small casino in Nice. It's called Casino Barrière de Roule Nice. And they had this ambition to make Nice into Las Vegas of the Mediterranean. This is in the 1970s when Las Vegas was like the mafia town.
Isn't Monaco right there?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Nice kind of does it too.
Yeah.
So basically there was this other casino that was the Art Deco like Niçois casino that was owned by this by a sort of aging dowager with 4 children. And the mayor basically directed his goons to somewhat intimidate her and like seduce her daughters and do various things to like.
This is too horny again. Like I was with you on the intimidation stuff, but then the like seduce her daughters.
Yeah. There was one daughter who like gets who gets seduced and then disappeared.
Jesus.
Yeah. Jean-Marie Agnelet always denied playing any role in the disappearance of Agnes Leroux, last seen driving out of Nice in a Range Rover on the 30th of October, 1977.
Yeah, last seen in a basement firing squad. Jesus.
He claimed that she had organized her own disappearance after salting away several million francs he'd received from the sale of her interest in the Palais de la Méditerranée casino. Agnelet claimed to be in Geneva on the day of Leroux's disappearance and how apparently had a watertight alibi. The testimony of François Lesueur, another woman with whom he was having an affair.
This is okay, sure. This is a unusually depraved thriller novel in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
Genuinely. The only reason I'm not including much of it is that it was part of the mayor's vision and the mayor's ambition, but he didn't have to do that much.
Yeah, he can just preside over this stuff, you know?
Yeah, it's because this guy, so the casino was called Roule, the guy was called Frantoni. He wanted to buy it out, but Agnelet didn't want to buy it, to sell. And
it's
so
like,
basically,
all right, who around you can we start seducing?
And then disappearing. Yeah. This is essentially like the shape of it is that this was Médecin's ambition as well, and he was pushing this on city council. So sorry, I sort of brought that up and was trying not to pay it off.
That is a pretty insane casino story.
Yeah, that meme flowchart where it's like, I meet a woman, I seduce her, she disappears.
I receive the deed to her casino. I meet a woman.
I meet a woman.
But there was also a second track, which was uniquely French. Remember earlier I talked about the parallel government of cultural institutions. So I'll give you an example. The Castle culture, the Centre d'Animation de Culture et des Loisirs, was basically a cultural association Médecin created in the 1970s specifically to receive public money in the furtherance of expanding youth access to culture and sport.
Sounds great.
But Riley, you may ask, surely such an association existed before 72.
Yeah, Riley, surely these associations existed before 1972.
Thank you so much for asking.
Yeah.
They did.
Oh.
But the Maison de Jeunes et de la Culture, MJCs, did already exist. But Médecin liked to foment rumors that these cultural associations were secret communist plots to radicalize the youth.
To be fair, if anybody was going to be running a front group like that, it was the French Communist Party back in the day when they were serious, when they were running stuff out of the Death Star, before Fabien Roussel was like talking about du fucking bon viande, like things. We used to have real communists in this country, and by this country I mean France.
And by we I mean they.
And by yes, yeah. So they could have done it, maybe.
So he hated these things. He railed against them in the paper in some odd ways. He said children should be playing sport, not doing theater, that they were anti-municipality. They had repulsive shows offered to the sight of children.
To drag queen story time. Huh?
And when he asserted one had a portrait of Mao, he started referring to all of them as Maison de Jaune. Which is super racist.
Racist cunt.
Okay. What is
yellow.
Is it a slur?
So jeune is like a youth, like young people. Jaune is like plural of yellow.
Oh, I get that. Hey, moving forward, I don't speak French, so you might need to help me out here. And a lot of our listeners, I bet, don't speak French either.
Well, that's their problem.
Do they speak Nisart?
The ones who do speak French are judging our French. So it's fine.
It's a really good point.
But I say Maison de Jaune, I sound very, very, very Quebecois, I think.
Sure.
This is just something that happens to you as an English person when you date like one or two French people. Something that both Riley and I have done is you start like you've been bullied enough about your bad French that other people bullying you about your French just is like water off a chained duck's back.
This will never reach the heights that I've experienced at the extended family gatherings. So,
oh god, yeah.
The Cassel, not subject to any oversight but funded by the city, was used. So you created this like right-wing panic about cultural institutions. Set up.
Yeah, he's like this youth group is a communist front group. Why don't I have a youth front group?
Well, yeah, but he also used it to steal a lot of money too. So what he would do,
well, you know,
Well, he needs that money to build more mini golf courses on his
He
property.
needs that money to seduce more casino heiresses.
So he used. So what he would do is he created this panic about the MJCs, and then he said we needed an alternative. He created the Cassell, which was more sport related, and then
the youth group is turning your kid not only communist and gay but Chinese. You should join this anti-woke one by giving me your credit card details.
This guy would have loved the word wokisme. He would have loved it. He would have used it so much.
So you don't get. So in this situation, it's a free service. It's funded by the city, but there's no oversight, and he just put one of the friends of the mayor in charge of it. So suddenly, he gives this Cassell millions of francs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the person, his friend who's in charge of it, suddenly starts buying advertisements for the Cassell in newspapers owned by Jacques Médecin. Or it's paying Jacques Médecin for consulting fees and stuff like this, and none of that money gets overseen. So you basically give money to a cultural institution, put your friend in charge of it, and then it mostly pays you, and then you try to radicalize some kids to the right.
Sure. So you're like, if we were doing this now, it would be like, why does this cultural association in Nice own like a penthouse apartment in Dubai?
Genuinely, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Except it was like Panama, London, and Beverly Hills that it was owning property in.
The Dubai of the day.
Yeah. It's like he would like spend huge
So it's illegal
sums.
to go on vacation. That's interesting. But okay.
Oh, I wanted to save money on hotels.
Maybe the underprivileged youth of Nice need to spend like a timeshare in Dubai,
which in the
for
70s,
enrichment.
in the 70s, it's not that nice.
It will teach them to not be Chinese.
It will no. It's look. We know that they're going to change cultures, but we are going to try to convert culture to Emirati. But in the 70s, Emirati. That's a big difference from Emirati now. But he would also spend huge sums funding talent hunts for the Nice Opera House that never really occurred, and all this stuff. But they also have the more traditional angles. For example, in 1979, there was this thing simply called the Nice port disaster, which when written down is funny because it looks like the nice port disaster.
That's when
welcome
Riley
to
had that
another
table.
episode of Well, There's Your Problem.
Yeah, the nice port disaster, by the way, is when Riley had that like shoddy table in his wine cellar, and all the port was on it, and the leg went out, and all the port broke, and he's like, "Oh, my nice port."
So true.
That's not true. The nice port disaster is when I and some friends went over to Riley's, and we had to help relieve him of the nice port because it was going to destroy the table, and so we had a lot of port because you were like, would you like to try this port? It's really very nice. And I was like, yeah, sure, because your table's going to collapse otherwise. And we kept having port until I couldn't stand up.
Sorry.
And I was carried home.
Yeah.
So that was the nice port disaster.
So the nice port disaster, where shoddy construction and kickbacks may have led to a poorly constructed port
The
expansion.
collapse of Riley's table. Sure.
That led to a submarine landslide and tsunami that killed like 10 people and caused millions in damages.
Okay,
But what
that
happened
really fucks with my thing that I was saying.
The contract was awarded while Médecin was in charge of like Alpes-Maritimes General Council to a contractor called Pierre Nouet, president of a consortium, who was the sole person blamed. And all the oversight bodies like the General Council, State Infrastructure Authority, which Médecin was also in charge of, all of those just avoid blame because Médecinisme.
It's all the consortium's fault.
Yeah.
It's all this one guy.
It's because this is the whole point of Médecinisme is fusing the power of the national or regional state with local planning authority in the person of this guy. So like so many stories.
Cité, c'est moi.
I'm
Like
sick
so
of
many
these
stories.
medicalists. Yeah.
Nova, this is what I was really looking forward to telling you about. Like so many stories of
Yes,
municipal
because
corruption.
here's the thing, right? You're telling me about like dirty money flying around in the south of France under de Gaulle, and I detect that there may be a certain garment associated with this sort of thing, a sort of like a cagoule, if you will, right?
Wow.
I see a shape of a guy named Bastien Thierry shooting at de Gaulle with a submachine gun.
So like so many stories of municipal corruption.
What is a
There's-
cagoule?
A cagoule is it's French for the cloak, and it was the name of like an extreme right terrorist group
Okay.
that prefigured the OAS. It was like pre-war, but it existed like subsequently.
By the way, I looked this
post-war.
up. It's a fucking windbreaker. Okay, that sounds way less cool
So
to me.
like so many stories of municipal corruption, there's also a paramilitary angle because my God, was Jacques Médecin friends with a lot of OAS guys?
Yeah.
Nova, would you like to tell the
don't
class what
say.
the OAS is?
Honk, honk, honk. honk, honk. Yes. So the OAS, the secret army organization, was so like the French army was always trying to stage coups in order to like avoid Algerian independence or to like roll back Algerian independence after the fact. They tried to assassinate Charles de Gaulle constantly. They came really close, like half a dozen times. There were like constant acts of terrorism. If you want something that is not a documentary but captures kind of the spirit of it, I kind of recommend, just as a really good thriller, Day of the Jackal, the movie.
Okay.
Because that rules. It's got Edward Fox, I want to say, and it's also got Michael Lonsdale kind of mooching about detectively, which is great fun. But yeah, neo-fascists, bad dudes.
So,
Okay.
Nice's...
And
Yes.
if you want to get properly parapolitical about this, you can tie the OAS into all sorts of like Gladio stay behind NATO funding shit, right? Like you can pull on that thread for as long as you want. There is a dark underbelly there that like really some of it like persists to this day.
Well, Nice's official photographer at this time, and I wonder, Nova, if you recognize this name, because you like history. You are an enthusiast in the history of madcap Eurocrime antics.
I like
There's
to
a man
think so.
named Albert Spaggiari who undertook.
Yes. This is heist season.
Yeah.
Motherfucker, this is all of my podcasts in one podcast.
This is that he was the official photographer for Nice. He worked for Jacques Médecin.
First of all, that's already one of the coolest jobs you could have on Earth, right? Even if most of your time you're like, don't take photos of these guys because that's Jacques Massou or whatever. But still, like to be the official photographer of the city of Nice. And then incidentally, you're like, my life isn't exciting enough here on the fucking Côte d'Azur. Maybe I want to spice things up a bit with some bank robbery.
Yeah, maybe I want to commit one of the craziest, most famous heists in European history. So, yes, Matt. Uh-huh. Oh no!
Sorry, this is a story that I know already, but I really want to hear Riley tell it. So I'm gonna shut the fuck up.
So, please, there are gonna be bits I gloss because this is about ultimately how's the mayor figure into this. So this is from the mayoral perspective.
As with every like fucking guy like this in Europe in the 70s was just like all of this stuff is connected, right? It turns out all of these guys were Nazis.
Yeah. So Albert Spaggiari in 1976 is living and working in Nice as a photographer. He moved there in 1968 just after getting out of jail. He spent his life in the French colonial army, mostly. He served in like Vietnam and elsewhere, mostly in Vietnam. And he's in and out of jail for right-wing terrorist activities associated with the OAS. In 75, Spaggiari and members of the Corsican Brotherhood were also recruited in France by Dina, Pinochet's secret police. The association with other right-wing international criminals like Michael Townley, who's Dina's lead assassin, Jean Kay, who's the guy who tried to extort money out of the CEO of Dassault to sponsor Bashir Gamal's phalangists in Lebanon, is known and proven.
The 70s were the funniest decade to have ever happened.
This guy is deeply, deeply embedded into fascist European criminal networks, basically. And he's also the official photographer of Nice, which he'd been for a year before he does one of the craziest heists ever. So, what's the heist all about? Spaggiari and his guys, one of whom is Jean Kay, basically a couple mafia guys and a couple other OAS guys, spend months tunneling in the sewer under the SocGen Bank on Avenue Jean Médecin, breaking in on Bastille Day. They empty 50 million francs from the vault while drinking wine and eating foie gras, and they leave a ton of wine bottles and foie gras tins behind. And they leave a message on the wall in spray paint. Sans armes, ni haine, ni violence. Without weapons, without hate, without violence. So how's the mayor figure into all this? Well,
first of all, they used that money to hire the Jackal from Day of the Jackal.
After the Sock Dam heist, everything changed. Yeah.
So the friends of the mayor contain numerous OAS compatriots. Spaggiari himself, who was the city of Nice's official photographer, was actually on a trip with Médecin in Osaka when the authorities discovered that he did it. Like, they returned to Nice. When he got off the plane, his photographer was arrested right beside him. And then Spaggiari went on trial.
I guess it was the bank robbery I did.
Probably nothing. He goes on trial. And he claimed he was stealing the money to fund a right-wing activist group in Italy called La Catena, or The Chain. This was unproven, and we think he might be lying.
They were trying to chain the duck. Think about it.
Also, you start pulling on the thread of like what right-wing activist groups in Italy were getting funding from French neo-fascists, and then you go insane.
Yeah.
And then you the Muro di Gomma starts fucking with you, right? Like
Like, I can't believe there's a mayor angle to all of this, but I guess there is.
There is one way to explain what 1970s Europe feels like, and it is to like watch season 1 of a Channel 4 film called Channel 4 series called Utopia, right? It's kind of like that.
So he then escapes. He is in the courtroom, he's sitting in the judge's office, and then when the judge's back is turned, he jumps out of a window and lands on a car hood, gets on a waiting motorcycle, where he then goes to a safe house onto Paris and is never seen again.
Riley, I have
Look
a
over
question
there.
that I think follows from this. Did the OAS and did French neo-fascists have any kind of like, infiltration or like allyship with French police or the judiciary at all in the 70s?
Oh, definitely not all the way up to and including basically President Chirac.
Okay.
Yeah, because like it would be crazy if all of those guys had like been collaborators,
I
right?
think what I'm saying is, I think the judge was like, I need to tie my shoe for 10 minutes.
Yeah, I'm going to put my head down and count to this, and you...
This wall paneling is very interesting.
Oh, I hope nobody escapes through the open window that probably you could jump out of.
Now back to my ham sandwich.
Back to my jambon beurre.
I didn't know that judge was Gungan.
Yeah.
So, the guys who organized his escape were fellow OAS veterans. The guy who organized the safe house was a guy called Gerard Rang, a member of Médecin's political party. He ran a nightclub that was supported by another cultural institution of which Médecin was president. And there were no shortage of OAS guys being recruited from Cassel in Nice as like a youth feeder organization.
Wait, so we've made the entire municipality, we've made one guy the godhead of the entire region, and we try to arrest him, and he's just like, by the way, I control the buildings, and this window will open if I think about it too hard.
Yeah,
This is kind of how all of governing France or really any European country worked in the 60s and 70s. Is just like, oh yeah, one of your sort of larger cities is like governed by a guy who is doing insurgency on you.
Mm-hmm. This is like how in ancient Mesopotamia, like the city was the god of the city, right? Like if you were if you went to there was like was like a statue of a person called So this is like him. He's that. He's like a Mesopotamian city god.
He is Nice.
He is Nice. Yeah.
So Médecin was questioned about this, and naturally the best translated quote I can find is actually from Wikipedia. Of course I knew Spaggiari. I know thousands of people in Nice.
Yeah, we've done like some hand stuff and some mouth stuff, but like, like everyone.
This translation says, I know thousands of nice people, which...
Probably true.
It's like, I've given him a foot massage before, is that a crime?
Is it a crime to kiss the homies?
Sure, we've kissed, yeah. We've kissed on the mouth.
Niçois are like trans women, right? And that's kind of like a handshake,
Mm-hmm.
I saw him at the town hall practicing his profession as a photographer. I didn't see him on the plane that transported the Niçois group to Tokyo. He then denounces a, quote, fabricated amalgam by journalists as part of an electoral offensive, saying the Great Red Orchestra of the leftist press worked to juxtapose my name and that of Spaggiari without ever daring to talk directly about friendship or complicity. And it's like, yeah, it just so happens that the guys who organized his escape all kind of work for me in some capacity.
Hey, by the way, if you and your friends are thinking about starting a leftist newspaper, the Great Red Orchestra is right there because that's really good. It's really, really good.
Specifically, it alludes to a Soviet spying in Nazi Germany, the Rote Kapelle, the Red Orchestra.
Oh, no shit.
So, an article in the journal Cahiers de la Méditerranée, entitled Les obstacles à la mort d'une dynastie, l'irrésistible chute de Jacques Médecin, which is Obstacles to the Death of a Dynasty, the Resistible Fall of Jacques Médecin, says, young far-right activists from organizations like Jeune Nation, Ordre Nouveau, Occident, and the PFN, the French Nationalist Party, cut their teeth in student violence and often found employment in the Médecin operation. The Médeciniste political milieu...
A lot of those in some form or another are still kicking, by the way.
Hold on to that thought.
I'm pretty certain Ordre Nouveau is the group that Nazi got who got killed by Antifa this year was in.
And these guys would take away from these radical groups, these like young people, these teens. They would get sucked in through like Cassel and other Medicinist cultural organizations, and then they'd be his like new OAS guys. So it functioned primarily as a placement agency for those who, when young, simply demonstrated a degree of commitment and activist capacity. So yeah, as you mentioned, Nova, he was basically Gladio, the municipal political party, but without the Catholic Church element so foregrounded.
This is crazy to have the like string puller here be the mayor.
The mayor really does factor into it.
This is for me. Thank you. Right.
Very welcome. So he created in Nice this nexus of far-right activism, deep municipal corruption, and an entirely parallel government. By 88, towards the end of his reign, the associations chaired by Médecin or run by friends of the mayor received more than half the total subsidy budget of the entire city.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Why don't we ever get a left-wing Jacques Médecin? Because we could kind of use that, to be honest. I think that would be cool if we had one of those
I know
guys.
I keep saying, hold on. So hold on for like one
he become
paragraph.
left wing, I hope.
So seeing all of this, by the way, prompted a then 77-year-old Graham Greene to write J'accuse, the Dark Side of Nice in 1982, as his mistress's daughter was being treated unfairly in the municipal court on the event of a divorce from her husband, because everyone involved, including the husband, was a friend of the mayor.
That's such a both Graham Greene thing to write and Graham Greene reason to write it.
Absolutely. It's one of the, because he lived in Antibes, which was nearby. He was sued successfully by Martinguy, friend of the mayor, though he was obviously exonerated in 1990 when everything he wrote in The Dark Side of Nice turned out to be true. Also, he called it J'accuse after the Émile Zola pamphlet.
He was exonerated when the judge weirdly had to take a phone call and turned his back for 12 minutes.
I'm just going to leave these pardon papers here.
Yeah.
So he starts feeling threatened in 1981 because Mitterrand won the French presidential election and it was supposed to be fixed that he wouldn't, but they didn't do a good enough job of fixing it, and so he won. And suddenly, that fusion of local national planning and informal institutional power had lost a key pillar. Prefects started showing up in Nice to look through stuff, inspector detectors. And he starts taking...
the Mitterrand administration is legitimately kind of like what if Corbyn had won to me in terms of like something that was not supposed to happen.
Absolutely not.
And the fact that it happened because you had right Gaullists and right anti-Gaullists at each other's throats the whole time, like this, just bellissima.
And all of a sudden you've got a bunch of detectives showing up.
So he starts taking in this event more trips to like Miami, Los Angeles with his new American wife, where he was reportedly
stopped. No, honey, everything's fine. We just have to take more and more duffel bags on vacation with us for no reason. The whole time he's looking out the window of the plane like the end of Goodfellas.
Yeah. Hey, does your skin react poorly to tape? It's just a question I have.
Oh, he was repeatedly stopped with like duffel bags of money and jewelry. Like during the
honey, quick question. Like, and this is important. How many diamonds do you think you could fit in your hair?
Yeah.
So coincidentally, this is also when Médecin gets more party politically associated with like the far right, with the FN.
Okay.
Is that he feels threatened by Mitterrand. But the weird thing is, because of a strange streak of French socialism, they don't actually manage to fuck with him for like 6 years. Because Gaston Defferre, a longtime socialist stalwart, the leader before Mitterrand, is appointed as interior minister. Defferre implements a new law that gives magistrates, who are all very interested in the goings-on in Nice, weirdly less power to interfere directly as part of a genuine French socialist commitment to decentralization.
Don't fucking talk to me about the French socialists, I swear to fucking God. Because this is it. This is it. It's like, again, it's like if Corbyn had won the election and then gone on to give like conservative councils a ton more power because he authentically thought it would be the right thing to do.
That's pretty much exactly what happened. Also, weirdly, Defferre was the last French deputy to fight a duel over an insult in Parliament with swords. This happened in 1967 and he won. So bear the above in mind when this magistrate, this prefect, Etienne Kecaldi, is appointed as a new police prefect for Nice by Defferre. The government's interested, right? Wrong. Cecaldi is the specific kind of police prefect that cannot initiate justice proceedings. He can only investigate and bring evidence to the judiciary so the judiciary can initiate proceedings. He goes to Nice, sees the mayor and his 5,000 best friends committing every crime under the sun.
It's weird. I brought this like dossier of obvious crimes to the judge, but he kept like looking away from the window like he was expecting me to jump out of it.
Yeah, he kept his eyes never settled on it, like he couldn't actually see it. But he hands the report to Defer, and Defer says the following. And Defer rebuffs it, and Cacaldi said the following. I did not have the means to initiate a judicial inquiry. I had to bring this document to the Interior Minister. He read it, and then he said to me, if we blow up Médecin, then what do we do? There's no political alternative in Nice. The reason that he said this is that Gaston Defer was also the mayor of Marseille for 34 years and was running the same scam as Médecin.
Okay.
Riley, we have evolved this in parallel because in the course of reading this de Gaulle biography, I learned a fact which you have also come to, evidently, which is that a lot of French politicians at a national level are also mayors.
Yes.
Because they can run this scam and because they have this local basis of power. So, for instance, I was considering as a future episode a left-wing version of this Guy Mollet, the socialist who was mayor of Arras for like 40 years, right?
Like 20th century, like second half of the 20th century France is one of the single most municipal places and times in history.
Oh, yeah. I think it's also really funny, right? Because if you take the sort of insurgency and counterinsurgency angle on this, that France was like, yeah, we don't want to get in on the Iraq war because basically we've done it already in the Côte d'Azur in the 60s and 70s.
So, but that's why he appointed a police prefect rather than a judicial prefect, right? He needed it to do nothing. I mean, we don't have any evidence this was intentional, but that's what I think. So
I'm feeling fully Oliver Stone about this. This is crazy.
Yeah.
This is absolutely, you should. So this is from the Times. This is about the turn and where the wheels actually do start coming off in the 80s.
À bas et à la gauche.
I got it.
The weight of the Nice machine is getting huge and decentralized, and some people feel like they're not getting cut in anymore, and it's worth repeating this in full. The luck that allowed Médecin to operate with impunity deserted him in 84 when he was ensnared in an incident that set off unrelenting scrutiny into his personal affairs. Accustomed to bypassing customs thanks to a friend who worked at an airline, he was challenged at Los Angeles airport on his 28th visit to the city. He was found to be carrying jewelry worth over 9,000 pounds and received a heavy fine. There was a bizarre repetition.
Like, honey, how many bracelets do you think you can wear at once?
Well, there was a bizarre repetition of that incident this month when police at Charles de Gaulle Airport seized 60,000 pounds from Médecin's luggage. The next day, Médecin watchers in New York were treated to an even more remarkable scene. A meeting between the mayor, who was traveling incognito from Tokyo to Buenos Aires, and a young woman named Elizabeth Arnault. With the press reporting strained marital relations between Jacques and his American wife Eileen, those determined on Cherchez la Femme had to look no further than Arnault, 27, who is now at the center of Nice's most celebrated Médecin scandal. Because
I'm leaving
in 86,
you for a younger woman because she can lift more bracelets on her arm. She can fit more money on her person, and she can fit more diamonds in her hair. So I'm actually leaving you.
I'm leaving you for a woman with bigger hair.
So in 86, Nice paid a company a 3% commission to renegotiate the municipal debt. More than 500,000 of this commission, 500,000 pounds of this commission, found its way into the bank account of Arnulf, who was Médecin's assistant
just
and
like
mistress.
Some woman, yeah.
Asked why she had withdrawn the money within days, she said she loaned it to an American friend whose name she forgot.
Okay, sure. I'm always giving 500,000 pounds to my friend whose name I don't remember.
I don't know. Maybe it was
I'll give you.
I want to
just come up with a name. No, it's Joe Friendman. Like, it's not hard.
Joe Friendman needed to. It was dinner. I took Joe Friendman to dinner, and he has expensive taste.
I took Joe Friendman to dinner at a restaurant. Have you guys been there?
We got old wine.
It's a restaurant. We had wine. We ordered. Oh my god! If you go to a restaurant, you have to get the food.
Realizing that there are haute cuisine places whose name sounds like a money laundering place. Like a bill shows up on your account and it just says dinner. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there was a place in New York for a long time just called Coffee Shop. Could have gone there.
Mm-hmm. Hey, it seems you spent 7 hours at a place called Basement. There's another story here. Claudette Pesnas-Berg, exploiting contacts made by his years as a minister of tourism under President Giscard d'Estaing, this quoting in press again, Médecin appointed Claudette Pesnas, his wife's best friend, to manage business deals involving French and American interests.
Okay. How big is her hair?
So she worked for them for a few years until she accumulated back salary debts of like tens of thousands of francs. So what do you do? Well, in 1984, socialist writer and politician Max Gallo receives the following message. Avant document concernant Jacques Médecin, capable de provoquer un scandale politique important. Or, in English, I have information that will lead to the arrest of Hilary Médecin.
It brings me so much pleasure to report this,
I will never disappear.
Well, she actually goes on TV, repeats the allegations, repeating what she knew about all the illegal jewelry imports, ownership property in the U.S., undeclared bank accounts. And then she said, I'm not suicidal. I fear for my life from these people.
Yeah, you
and
would, I think.
Médecin even wrote, directly, he said, Ma Claudette, here is the Deco proposal, Deco, the outdoor advertising company, Deco proposal for the public toilets. Could you pass it on to our friends? Claim 10% for you can claim for yourself and me 10% on the advertising to be placed in the toilets. So just writing it in a letter. Can you do the kickback for me?
Yeah,
you can also have
kickback.
some. Yeah, the toilet kickback, you can have some too. And they're missing so many kickbacks. There's traffic signaling kickbacks. There's kickbacks everywhere. She also said she had recordings of Médecin and his American wife threatening her life. She's doing this from America, where she then finds herself drowned in a jacuzzi, fully dressed with her hair in curlers.
All of this shit is this is the Epstein of the sort of previous day Epstein stuff, where it's like you can't pull on any one thread before it leads you to Gladio or BCCI or Agenicon or anything. It's crazy how there actually is a conspiracy and everyone evil is kind of in on it together, and there is just this huge anti-left conspiracy, and the people who are torturing you in Argentina are getting the money for the thumbscrews in France.
Yeah, it's like the big famous bank robbery is what's paying for that, basically.
Yeah. I mean, to not even take her hair out of the curlers to me is so disrespectful. They don't even bother to make it look like it's not a murder.
It's a threat. It's absolutely a threat. It's the same thing that Russia does to Russian dissidents or exiles or traitors here, right? It's the same thing that happens to whistleblowers anywhere, where it's we could make it look like an accident, but we don't want to because we want everyone else to be scared.
Yeah, all those Boeing guys just get it. It all gets too much for them.
Right.
But here's the other thing. Gaston Defer dies in 86, and suddenly Nice gets a real prefect as opposed to baby's first judicial appointment. A couple years of case building later, and Médecin finds himself charged with basically everything. Corruption. A lot of corruption.
They sent French Elliot Ness to Nice.
This Elliot Nice, thank you. Especially around the Opera House and his magazine advertising stuff, some of the stuff we talked about earlier. He's of course reelected anyway, but there's a runoff this time because the FN eats so much into his majority that he doesn't get an outright majority first round.
I fucking love French politics so much.
It's shortly into this final term that he boards that flight from Japan to Uruguay. His villa is seized. He hides out there for a few years and starts a business hawking satellite dishes and t-shirts, remarries again, finally gets extra...
Quick question. Why did this guy with a bunch of far-right links flee to Uruguay suddenly? Was there anything going on out there? The guy who was paying the fact that he kind of it came undone because the FN was eating into his fucking majority is so funny because it's genuinely the guy who was paying down the mortgage at Colonia Dignidad, the guy who was paying for Hitler's satellite TV in Buenos Aires wasn't racist enough.
Genuinely. Well, it's part of that, and it's also his power base is eroded because his corruption machine, and this is what's attested to in the academic work around this, got so big and it got so powerful that it became hard to control, and so some people felt like they were getting cut out.
Fucking Victoria 3 happened to him, or more importantly, right? If he was trying to seduce the city, he had lesbian bed death with Nice. He's trying to initiate, and Nice is just rolling over and facing the other way, just no, I don't feel I
don't want a foot rub. But it was that that people started feeling cut out, and so they weren't as loyal, so they would testify, or Claudette wasn't getting paid.
I'm gonna go have sex with Montevideo. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, well, it's been a while since you've had the last foot massage, and you're kind of thinking he doesn't really care anymore,
So basically, that's part of why it collapses, and the FN's eating into his vote, and suddenly the random luck that an interior minister is committing the same crime as you, so doesn't want to investigate it, no longer applies because he died. But so what happens is he finally gets extradited to France. This takes forever because there's no overarching extradition treaty between France and Uruguay. This had to be negotiated bilaterally as an individual case. He's tried, goes to jail, goes for 1 year, gets released back to Uruguay, and then he dies. But we're getting slightly ahead of ourselves because Spaggiari's defense attorney, Jacques Médecin, took over the office from Médecin in 1995.
If the cagoule does not fit, you must acquit.
He left, and he was mayor from 1995 until 2008. He left the FN to do this. He ran as an independent under the slogan, I'm not joking, divers droite, which is alternative right.
Oh.
There is more diversity of money laundering on the right than there is on the left. And that's why we should all be concerned.
Mm.
And he won with Médecin's support. Médecin was said from Uruguay, vote for this guy. He will be a future guest of the show. So this is now from a New York Times article as I'm coming to the end of it, entitled, Mayor Absconds, City Feels Abandoned.
I was joking about the lesbian bed death thing, but it's kind of just true, right?
So the central government followed up with reports and then charges of corruption. By January of this year, he'd been sentenced to imprisonment for misusing public funds. In April, the international warrant for his arrest was issued and 4 criminal cases against him still await trial. Médecin's mansion was seized and auctioned off. It seems unlikely that the dapper former mayor, now 64, can ever return home without going to jail. And his frequent message from his Uruguayan home telling the Niçois how to vote in elections are no longer received as orders. Even an association of Friends of the Mayor, Jacques Médecin, has been dismantled.
Oh.
Jean Médecin was a great mayor, said Christian Estrosi, one of several conservative politicians who hoped to inherit the family's mantle of power. But the real phenomenon was that he had a son who had the same political longevity, the same talent, and same dedication. Things have changed for the worse, Mr. Estrosi, who was 37 years old, said. Under Médecin, Nice was growing, business and tourism were booming, there was always something happening here, and since he left, it's become a catastrophe. The socialists have destabilized Nice. By the way, if you scroll down, you'll see Estrosi.
Well, when you remove Saddam Hussein, yes, you do create the instability.
Also, can you please look at Christian Estrosi in a big Jacques Médecin costume in a parade?
There he is.
Whoa.
Oh,
Okay.
Cool.
So,
I'll put this photo on the Patreon. That's beautiful.
In 2019, Estrosi renamed a street after Jacques Médecin, which he could do because he was elected mayor of Nice in 2008 and remains in office today.
Cool.
Estrosi's name is one you may recognize, as he's been in the news recently. He faked an anti-Semitic attack against himself. He's not Jewish, but has described himself as spiritually Israeli as an election gambit. Estrosi will also be a future guest of the show.
How did he? What?
We're going to have to do that on the Christian Estrosi episode, I'm afraid.
Okay.
So many future guests of the show found in this one, right?
This is the skeleton key.
Yeah, this is the Velvet Underground of mayor episodes.
Yeah.
Every mayor that met this guy started a podcast.
So many mayortaculuses out before us. And by the way, just to pay off a thing from earlier when I was like, why don't we have a left-wing version of this guy? The funniest thing is that we kind of used to, and his name was Muammar Gaddafi.
No! Oh, I don't like that.
Perfect.
Well,
Anyway, that is Jackie the doctor. I hope you enjoyed this crazy motherfucker.
This was beautiful. Riley, like if we had released this podcast in 1973, all of us would have been killed.
Oh yeah. Like all 3 of us would be hanging upside down from Blackfriars Bridge. Like really specific.
There's like a kind of like a 70-year rule, but for like the deep state, where it's like, oh, this stuff can come out now, but like you would have disappeared if you got in too deep into this back in the day.
Oh, yeah. Now it's just fun. And in 70 years, people are going to be saying the same thing about the current mayor of Nice. Anyway.
Crazy.
Look,
Jesus.
Thank you very much for listening to my this fucking nutcase.
Thank you so much for bringing him to us.
It.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have fucked with Graham Greene's mistress's daughter in divorce court is all I can say.
You mess with the green, you get the Graham.
Keep writing. It's all and keep doing corruption. It's all going in my novel.
Anyway, thank you also for listening to No Gods, No Mayors. This is coming out.
This is a free episode.
This is a free episode. So, hey, if you enjoyed it, there's plenty more mayors where that came from. I specifically tend to do a lot that are this style.
Yeah. NoGodsNoMayors.com. $5 a month for more mayors, in my opinion.
That's right. Well, thank you very much to all of you for listening. Thank you very much to my lovely co-host. Thank you to the people of Nice for electing an inveterate racist psychopath. And we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.